You're talking about moving 1 million people over 5 years, Mr.
Yes,
Powell. That's 200,000 a year.
That's nothing.
Do you seriously think that voluntary repatriation is going to make 200,000 people a year leave this country?
It seems to me perfectly possible.
Do you seriously think that £1,000 is going to induce a man to leave his home, the home that he's bought in this country?
Yes, I know.
The home in which he has lived perhaps for 15 years?
I know very many such cases.
You're confident of that?
I don't know how many, but we have no means of knowing. Because, remember, for the last 25 years, the whole atmosphere, all the pressure of opinion, all the pressure of government has been to say, this is permanent.
Does that mean, if you add up all these mistakes, that there are too many foreigners in Britain?
It stands to logic, doesn't it, that if I'm saying that we should have introduced proper curbs when the new countries joined the European Union, and that we should have introduced a points-based system, that I am, of course, saying, and Ed himself did this morning, that too many people came in when we were in power.
You know what's coming next, don't you? If there are too many foreign people in this country, what are you going to do about it?
Well, I think there are things that we could... I'm not saying that there are too many foreign people in this country.
Not.
Well, you did earlier.
No, I didn't.
You did.
I said...
What if they don't go? What if 200,000 people every year don't go to keep up to your schedule?
I will wait and see. I will wait and see. I'm not
can't
prepared.
say. I mean, you must have thought it through, Mr. Powell.
I can't imagine that one initiates a policy upon the basis of deciding in advance what one will do if it fails.
The reason we've come here is it feels to me like this election, A, is not about urban areas, they're not really getting a look in, and B, I'm not seeing many black faces.
To where would you repatriate those immigrants who were born here?
To where they wanted to go. In most cases, they are the citizens of their countries of origin, although born in this country.
La ilaha illallah! La ilaha illallah! Muhammadur Rasulullah! Muhammadur Rasulullah! La ilaha illallah! La ilaha illallah! Muhammadur Rasulullah! Muhammadur Rasulullah!
40% of the total immigrant population, I think, were born in this country.
Yes, and a high proportion of those are citizens of their countries of origin, under the laws of their countries of origin.
Brothers, sisters, respected elders, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Now, you describe it as their home
Yes,
in your
of course it is.
They've never seen it, of course.
Well, an Englishman born to missionaries in China is still an Englishman.
We're not talking about those numbers. We're talking about a lot of people, Mr. Powell.
Quite so, but we are talking about them individually.
The grooming gangs have been traced back as far as the late 1980s. At-risk white English girls, often from broken homes and some as young as 9 years old, were wooed or groomed by teenage Muslim boys called Romeos, and even by groups of Muslim men who hung around school gates. The plan was to make the girl feel important. She was given gifts and drugs, but she was being groomed to be a drug-addicted prostitute. Then came the gang rapes.
What I would like to know is what action you will be able to take, assuming you are confirmed in your post, to sort this mess out and to reassure the British people that people who are a danger to our society can in fact be removed back to their country of origin.
I think we owe a tremendous amount to Winston Churchill. He's the one who inspired this idea that there should be rights at a level above the nation state.
Now, let's go back to my Englishman, the second generation, born of missionaries in China. His home is England. He's always thought it's his home. No one would doubt that it was his home. His home certainly isn't China, unless indeed he has opted out of his citizenship and opted out of his attachment.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
This attack stands out for its appalling, sickening cowardice.
Londoners should be aware that there will be additional armed and unarmed police officers on our streets from tonight in order to keep Londoners and all those visiting our city safe.
Terror is going to be present with us, I think, in the future. I think it is a part of our lives. And I think that we have to learn to live with it.
Now, how would you deprive these people born here of their British citizenship?
I don't know what you mean by British citizenship.
Well, they believe that they're British, you see, and they're born here, and therefore they would argue that this is their home.
Well, they don't argue that this is their home. The majority of them regard India or Jamaica or wherever it may be as their home. It is simply unrealistic to pretend that these people born here in increasingly massive numbers regard this country as their home.
Well, they hold a British passport.
They are entitled to a British passport. But I do wish you would cease to be so inhuman as to treat this as a matter of a travel document which a person holds, and pay attention to the humane and deep meaning of the concept of home. And what I have to tell you is that for these people, it is insulting to tell them that this country is their home. It is as insulting as it would be to tell an Englishman born of English parents in India that therefore India and not England is his home.